morning, I'm Amit Pakaril and let's begin with the top stories of this hour. Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli and Nepali Congress President Sher Bahadur Deuba continue to part ways. Main opposition alleges the Prime Minister of operating unilaterally. Dispute emerges over the retirement age of government officials. Government in the favor keeping of retirement age of 58 intact. At least 55 people killed and 2,700 others injured by Israeli troops in the deadliest day of violence in Gaza since the 2014 war. And Royal Challengers Bangalore thrash Kings 11 Punjab by 10 wickets in the Indian Premier League. Kolkata Knight Riders take on Rajasthan Royals tonight. Let's begin with the national political updates. The soured relations between Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli and Nepali Congress President Sher Bahadur Deuba has continued unabated. The two leaders are yet to hold any discussion on the issues of national interest, despite 3 months since Prime Minister Oli assumed the top executive post. During the election campaign, the CP and UML chairman had publicly announced that it was going to be the then Premier Sher Bahadur Deuba's last stint as the Nepali Congress Prime Minister. Such outburst during election campaign is taken as normal in democratic practice. However, 5 months since the election, the two leaders are yet to come under good speaking terms. Nepali Congress President Deuba too has not minced words in criticizing Premier Oli in recent days. The Prime Minister's political advisor Bisnu Rimal is of the opinion that the government is moving ahead by embracing the sentiments of the opposition. Nepali Congress, on the other hand, believes that the government is moving in a unilateral way, that is, without consulting other parties in key issues of parliament operation, constitution implementation, and upcoming budget, among others. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi's 2-day state visit to Nepal was much talked about in both the national and international media. During his visit, the Indian Premier, a gifted speaker, made many announcements, India's commitment to support Nepal with its priorities being one of them. It is, however, unclear that Nepal's priorities actually indicate.
श्रीमान ओली जी की भारत यात्रा में और कल और आज की मेरी नेपाल यात्रा में मेरा यही संदेश है, मेरी यही भावना मैंने अलग अलग शब्दों में व्यक्त की है। नेपाल अपनी आवश्यकताओं और प्राथमिकताओं के अनुसार आगे बढ़े, ये मैं बहुत जिम्मेदारी से कह रहा हूं। नेपाल अपनी प्राथमिकता और अपनी आवश्यकताओं के अनुसार आगे बढ़े।
During his address at his felicitation program held in the capital on Saturday, Modi said that India was ready to support Nepal with every possible assistance. Experts, however, opine that Modi's words are just the tip of the iceberg and there are numerous ways to interpret his speech. Foreign affairs experts believe Modi indirectly meant that India would support Nepal as long as Nepal did not operate on other countries' priorities. A few of Nepal's decisions to collaborate with its northern neighbor China in recent years has been understood by India as Nepal straying away from its friendship with India while growing closer to China. Following India's blockade in 2015, Nepal and China made several strategic agreements, including the Nepal-China Transit Plan. Nepal also agreed to participate in China's ambitious Belt and Road Initiative, which India has yet to make a comment on. Experts have understood that Modi is aware of Nepal's growing relations with China and hence has emphasized on the need for Nepal to focus on its own priorities rather than others. Experts also opine that Modi intends to promote regional cooperation with countries other than China and Pakistan, as the 13-point joint statement at the end of Modi's 2-day visit prioritizes strengthening regional cooperations like BIMSTEC and BBIN. Despite SAARC also being a regional cooperation, Modi has been biased towards it. Given Pakistan is a part of SAARC and that India and Pakistan have shared a Cold War for long. Experts have thus understood that Modi intends to ensure other superpowers like China does not enter South Asia in order to keep India's influence in the region intact. The cabinet has concluded that the two-day state visit of the Indian Prime Minister was successful and helped boost prospects for Nepal's welfare. A meeting of the cabinet held yesterday evening reached the decision. The meeting also concluded that the bilateral ties between the two nations got stronger following the Indian Prime Minister's visit. Meanwhile, the cabinet has decided to request President Vidya Devi Bhandari to unveil the government's policies and programs at the federal parliament. The government is preparing to present the policies and programs on the 21st of May. And time now for a short break. For more news, to stay with us. Welcome back after the break. It has been 1 year since local representatives who made various promises to the public to garner votes in the local level election were appointed to their offices. During the election campaign, Mayor of Kathmandu Metropolis, Vidya Sundar Shake has made promise to achieve 100 different goals in the first 100 days of office. However, his pre-elections claim has not seen light of the day even after 365 days gone by. Despite calling itself a metropolis, development, infrastructure and basic facilities are still in its infant stage in the capital. Mayor Sake's 100-day plan of doing away people's hunger and discomfort, plans of ridding the capital of traffic congestion and doing the right work at the right place has stayed limited to election campaign. Streets are full of potholes that are flooded every time it rains, causing inconvenience to everyone. People are still having to suffer flooded streets and mud during monsoon and dust during winter season. While Sake's hefty promises have proven a far-fetched, it is further a tragedy that the local representatives have failed to carry out even the doable small improvements. The plans that local representatives posted during elections of cleaning the cluster of wires seen at every major street, along with other nooks and corners of the capital within the first 3 months, has not been executed. It is the same with other plans of expediting the reconstruction works of heritage sites, controlling pollution, adding number of public toilets in the capital, among others. While none of the development works expected by the people of the capital have come true, Mayor Shake insists that the metropolis has been improving, accounting the lack of coordination between internal units as the reason behind the sluggishness. And in this context, we had asked the residents of Kathmandu what do they have to say about the first year in office of the metropolis's mayor. Let's take a look at what they had to say.
Public voice.
यतिकै छ के गरे जस्तो लाग्दैन यतिकै छ यो पहिला पनि यही धुलो धुवा यतिकै छ कतै दायाँ बायाँ केही बनाएको नि छैन त्यो भौतिक संरचनाहरू यतिकै छ खासै केही परिवर्तन भएको जस्तो चाहिँ लाग्दैन
आफ्नो ठाउँतिर चाहिँ गरिरा हुन्छ हैन अब यतातिर जुन पब्लिकलाई परेको छ चाहिँ गरेको छैन जस्तो लाग्छ
गर्छ एकाएक गर्छ भनेर भन्छ बाटो यता देखाउँछ चुनाव बेला सब यसरी देखाउँछ तर कुनै ठाउँमा चाहिँ राम्रो उपलब्धि भएको छैन यहाँ
कुनै पनि हामीले देख्ने गरी हाम्रो लागि लाभदायक काम केही पनि भएको छ जस्तो लाग्दैन जति मेयर साहबले भाषण गर्दा भन्नुहुन्थ्यो नि त्यस्तो कुनै पनि काम भएको छैन अहिलेसम्म
बाटो घाटो जहाँ भत्काएको छ ती जस्ता लथालिङ्ग पारेछ जस्तो भत्काएर छोड्दैछ त्यस्तै छ त्यस्तै अवस्थामा छन् नयाँ संरचना जस्तो भूकम्पहरूले भत्केका सुन्धारा धरारा जस्ता चिजहरू अहिलेसम्म बन्न सकेका छैनन्
जनताले सोचे जस्तो केही पनि भएको छैन यहाँले गर्नुपर्ने कुराहरू हुन्छ नि
त्यो आश्वासन पुर्याएको छैन त्यो भन्ना पनि अझ म त के देख्छु भने अझ त्यो पहिला भन्दा चाहिँ अझै बिग्रेको देखिरहेको छु
Disputes have surfaced over the retirement age of government officials, even as the Public Service Commission had recommended to increase the retirement age from 58 to 60. The Ministry of Federal Affairs and General Administration is carrying efforts to keep the retirement age at 58 intact. The Ministry for Federal Affairs and General Administration had prepared the first draft for the Civil Service Act proposing for the retirement age of a civil service official at 60. The committee formed to prepare the draft for the Civil Service Act had argued that the retirement age should be extended as an experienced official could work for 2 more years, given the average lifespan of Nepalese has increased and also because it relieves the national coffers of the pension burdens. Despite the logics provided, the Ministry for Federal Affairs and General Administration is now gearing up to maintain the retirement age at 58. Minister for Federal Affairs and General Administration Lal Babu Pandit argues that the human resource in the old system does not have the enthusiasm to work, and that the new and younger generation that is well skilled and updated in accordance to changing time should get to enter the administration. Likewise, the Public Service Commission had recommended to increase the retirement age from 58 to 60 3 years ago, and the budget plans had been made accordingly for 3 years. However, the government has failed to implement the recommendation. Meanwhile, if we are to compare the age limit of civil service officials with other government units, the age limit for officials in the health sector is 60. Justices of High Court can work up to 63 and Supreme Court up to 65. This uneven pattern also demands for a uniform age limit in all government sectors. And it's now time for our segment, Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
And the question is, what should be the age limit of civil service officials? And options are A, 58 years, and B, 60 years. The voting is on. Type in it up where, select your option A or B and send it to 8080 to share your opinion with us. Now the international update. Palestinian officials said Israeli troops have killed 55 people and wounded 2,700. It is the deadliest day of violence in Gaza since the 2014 war. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said his military was acting in self-defense against Gaza's Islamist rulers, Hamas, who he said wanted to destroy Israel. Israel said some 40,000 Palestinians had taken part in the violent riots at 13 locations along the Gaza Strip security fence. Palestinians hurled stones and incendiary devices, while the Israeli military used tear gas and live fire from snipers. The Palestinian Authority's leader condemned a massacre. The UN spoke of outrageous human rights violations. The violence came as the US opened a controversial embassy in Jerusalem. The atmosphere at the dedication ceremony was certainly in stark contrast to that at the Gaza border. US President Donald Trump sent a video message to the event saying Israel had the right to determine its own capital. The move of the US Embassy from Tel Aviv has incensed Palestinians who claim Eastern Jerusalem as the capital of a future Palestinian state. The status of Jerusalem goes to the heart of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Israeli sovereignty was Jerusalem is not recognized internationally, and according to 1993 Israel-Palestinian peace accords, the final status of Jerusalem is meant to be discussed in the latter stages of peace talks. Israel has occupied East Jerusalem since the 1967 Middle East War. It effectively annexed the sector, though this was not recognized by any countries until Trump's declaration in December 2017. And time now for another short break. For more news, do stay with us.
Sports News.
Royal Challengers Bangalore thrashed Kings 11 Punjab by 10 wickets in the Indian Premier League match played last night. Sent into bat first, Kings 11 innings never got going as they lost wickets like pack of cards from the onset to be bowled out in 15.1 overs. Backed by some good fielding, Umesh Yadav came up with an impressive bowling effort up front to destabilize the Kings 11 inning as it picked 3 wickets. Aaron Finch top scored for Kings 11 with a 23 ball 26, while KL Rahul made 21. After bundling out Kings 11 for paltry 88 runs, RCB chased down the target with ease, reaching 92 for no loss in 8.1 overs. Skipper Virat Kohli led from the front with the bat with an unbeaten 48, while Parthiv Patel made unbeaten 40 to help RCB romp home. Kohli struck 6 fours and 2 towering sixes during the 28-ball unbeaten knock, while Parthiv's innings was laced with 7 boundaries. While Kings 11 stumped to their third successive loss, RCB improved upon their net run rate by sealing the victory in 8.1 overs. RCB now have 10 points from 12 matches, same as Kings 11, with 2 games remaining for both the teams. In the match slated for today, Kolkata Knight Riders take on Rajasthan Royals. City celebrated their record-breaking Premier League campaign in style last night as they paraded through Manchester with the Premier League and League Cup trophies in front of thousands of fans. About 100,000 Manchester City fans turned out to see the team's victory parade. Fans basked in the sunshine to cheer on the record-breaking squad as they showed off the trophy and the Carabao Cup along Deansgate and past Albert Square in an open-top bus. Pep Guardiola's side won the Premier League title by beating their nearest rivals Manchester United by 19 points. City also became the first team to record 100 points in a season. The parade left Victoria Street behind Cathedral Gardens before heading on a mile-long route through Manchester City Centre, finishing with a show at Deansgate. The players and the manager were then presented on the stage. Brazil has named its 23-man squad ahead of next month's World Cup in Russia. Brazil takes on Switzerland in its opening Group E match and have a squad bursting with talent and experience. Star man Neymar has recently returned to fitness, and despite not playing for the club Paris Saint-Germain, the Samba star is still expected to play a pivotal role for his country at the most coveted football tournament of the planet. Brazil's front line includes Gabriel Jesus, Roberto Firmino and Tyson alongside Neymar. Danilo, Marcelo, Filipe Luis, Thiago Silva, Casemiro, Fernandinho, Paulino, Philippe Coutinho and Willian has also made it to the squad. However, Dani Alves has missed out from the World Cup because of an injury. Manager Tito's major ambition at World Cup is to reinstate Brazil's stature at the tournament. Brazil has suffered a 7-1 thrashing against Germany in the semi-final round of 2014 World Cup. The Brazilian squad will begin its training from the 21st of May in Rio de Janeiro. Brazil is placed alongside Switzerland, Costa Rica and Serbia in Group E. Mani Saha, popularly known as Nepalese football's Maradona, passed away earlier yesterday at the age of 51.
Saha was admitted to the Norvik hospital.
Saha, who had been suffering from liver-related ailments, breathed his last while undergoing treatment at the capital's Norvik hospital. Saha's death has left a deep vacuum in the country's football fraternity. Saha was admitted to the Norvik hospital on Sunday evening. Hospital sources said that Saha died of internal bleeding. Saha had stormed into national football scene as a 17-year-old a year before Argentina lifted the 1986 World Cup. There were a number of similarities between Saha and Maradona, with similar build, similar playing position and massing attitude. Both donned jersey number 10 with massing hairstyle, which made Nepalese audience quick to nickname Mani as Nepalese Maradona. In his first playing career spanning 13 years, Saha scored 10 international goals. He is survived by his wife and a daughter. Mani Saha is regarded as the most gifted attacking midfielder the country has ever produced. Saha produced an outstanding performance while bagging the only goal for Nepal in the 1993 South Asian Games, held in Dhaka. Saha scored a late free kick to draw the final against India as Nepal eventually prevailed 5-4 in the tiebreakers to clinch the gold medal. Saha's demise has left an irreparable loss to Nepalese football. Kantipur television extends a heartfelt condolence to the bereaved family. His body will be kept at Dasrot Stadium between 9 to 11 a.m. for condolences, while the final rites are to be performed today itself. Cricket has nominated the nominations of Sports Award to be hosted by Nepal Sports Journalist Forum. In this year's nomination, cricket players and cricket coaches are included in every category beside female category. There are 2 cricket players in each category of Best Male Player and Best Young Player of the Year. Cricket has nominated in coach category as well. National cricket team's keeper Paras Khadka and star spinner Sandeep Lamichhane are nominated in this year's Best Male Player category. Spinner Lamichhane, playing for Delhi Daredevils in the ongoing Indian Premier League, has also been nominated in this year's People's Choice category. He has been nominated in 3 categories, including this year's Young Player of the Year. In this category, another cricketer, Dipendra Singh Aide, is also nominated. In the coach category, national cricket team's coach Jagat Tamata and Vinod Das have been nominated. Along with Lami Chane and Airi from cricket, Dinesh Henjan from football and Manita Shrestha from judo are nominated for this year's Young Player of the Year. In coach category, football's Sings Lobsang Kurung, badminton's Jayant Kumar Shrestha and boxing's Prakash Thapamagar are also nominated. Meanwhile, in female category, badminton's Shobha Gochan, archery's Kyanu Awale, boxer Bimala Shrestha, footballer Sabitra Vandari, and table tennis player Nabita Shrestha are nominated. There are altogether 8 different categories of nominations this year. The winners of all categories will be announced in a ceremony this Thursday. Each of the winners in the male, female, People's Choice and coach category will be handed a Pulsar motorbike. Likewise, the winners in the rest of the categories will receive 50,000 rupees each. And before we wrap up, a reminder of the top stories. Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli and Nepali Congress President Sher Bahadur Deoba continue to part ways. Main opposition alleges the Prime Minister operating unilaterally. Dispute emerges over the retirement age of government officials. Government in the favor of keeping retirement age of 58 intact. At least 58 people killed by Israeli troops in the deadliest day of violence in Gaza since the 2014 war. And Royal Challengers Bangalore thrash Kings 11 Punjab by 10 wickets in the Indian Premier League. Kolkata Knight Riders take on Rajasthan Royals tonight. And that's all for this hour. Keep watching Kantipur Television SD for more news and entertainment. Goodbye for now.